hit start.
So good.
Just wanted you to be able to sit down and start putting stuff together.
Alright, according to all the data, we are live.
Woo!
So,
It's been a minute.
it has been a minute. So, right, cool.
Life has been happening, hasn't it?
It does that.
You've been
Okay.
working a new job, and I have been working jobs.
You guys can kind of see the legs. If you were with us the last video, you saw where we got them ready to go. So we've got them tacked up on the board over there.
Just got them scooched out of the way.
Yep. So everybody here, we did end up with the LED kit.
Yeah.
This is the official Bandai kit. We've been looking at possibly some of the other ones. Not entirely sure yet, but
If you have opinions, let us know.
for sure.
I have started just to get stuff
Because we're working on
for this
the
page.
waist frame now.
Yeah, snipped off of the sprue, just so that you can sit down and start to assemble. And I'm just starting to kind of clean a little bit as I go.
We are, since we were here last time, this is the new store. So
Yeah.
coming to you live from Griffin Keep's new
V2.
location. Much cooler than the last Oak location.
It is very nice. The air conditioner works a little bit
It
better.
works so much better. Of course, I sat down and I remember one more thing I gotta do. It doesn't
okay,
stop.
I'll just keep cleaning.
I'm excited for this part. We'll be able to get the legs together. We'll actually have some structure. And while the waist frame, like, it seems pretty straightforward, I think it's going to be one of those things, again, where we're just going to end up having, surprisingly, a lot of really cool detail.
Yeah, I think so. Like just from snipping the parts out and kind of like looking at how like just kind of like the assembly of them, it seems like there's a fair bit of like nuance and movement that's gonna happen even here.
And I was surprised just in the ankle, because we've got the pistons that let the ankle ball rotate,
Right.
the actual motion of the ankle, then it goes side to side.
Yeah,
So you've got, everything that your ankle can do in the ankle on the feet.
right.
And then the double hinged knee, the foot with 3 points of articulation,
It's
the hip socket. So
it can be a lot, like not in a bad way either. Just like in
it's
a
an impressive. You're just like, man,
the
it just keeps going.
complexity is surprising. This is the
But
more-
I tell you that I might have talked to Rachel into getting me the PGU RX78. Yeah,
I'm jelly.
I got a birthday coming up.
No. I'm joking, of course. But like, yeah, that is one of the PGUs that I would like very much love.
I think the only other one I'd really go for, because they're all going to be awesome, but like the unicorn would probably be the other one.
Unicorn
Would
would
I
be
be
awesome.
interested in?
I'm trying to think of like it'd be fun to build all of them, but the money is
Oh yeah,
a definite constraint.
Do I want to continue to drop lots and lots of money every time? Kinda. I mean, these are so cool.
To be honest, like they are very different build experiences, but I keep finding the real grades to be like it's like a miniaturized version almost of a PGU in terms of like
Oh yeah, when
the
you get that, 'cause
articulation and the detail and
the 1/100 scale is nice to work in. It's not so tiny that you kind of end up with something that doesn't have a whole lot of shelf presence.
Right.
That's one of the things that's nice about the master grades. That 1/100 scale, they look great on the shelf.
mm-hmm.
But they do deliver also, which is nice.
They really do. Yeah, I've started working on the Gundam Wing
Oh yeah, I've got that
like
in the box.
real grade. and
Yeah.
it's been a great kit so far. Like it's got a lot of detail. Like I'm trying to figure out how I want to do it because like I don't think that I'm gonna go crazy and with paint and everything, but
Well, that's how that goes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start gonna go teach some people to play Pokemon.
Have you been summoned away to do the
Yeah, for just a minute. It takes about
education?
30 minutes or so.
No worries.
And I know you gotta head here before too long. I've got about an hour, so
Nice.
if we can get at least the waste unit started,
Oh,
I'll be
certainly.
glad to make some progress.
We will definitely make progress. I'll probably just do some cleaning, and if I get to the end of the page, then I'll start assembling.
Certainly.
Oh, let's see.
They have NIL like money points they have to spend for your college, and it's definitely hard because you actually have to manage.
What's nice is,
And with the road to glory, you can actually
you know what? One thing that I've been wanting to experiment with are glass files. I visited a really fantastic Gunpla / like manga anime shop up in Kansas City recently. And I'll have to find the name of it. It might have even been like that anime shop or something. That guy was fantastic, very knowledgeable, huge selection. Like, and they had some glass files, and they were the super fancy ones. And I was looking on Amazon, and it kind of seemed like you could get it like a starter set of glass files just for like 16, 17 bucks. And so I think I may just pick those up. One thing that I've found just over the years, within the miniatures, board games, models, industries, is that very often a lot of that stuff ends up being sourced from the same place, and they'll just get nicer packaging. And so, like, I guarantee you, like, I don't know where the God Hands are manufactured, but these are so close to God Hands. This is like 99, 98% the same. And so, I have a very strong personal ethic against spending full price when you can get something that's like very, very close, if not the same, for less. Sometimes you just can't beat the brand name, but to be honest, for me, even if I can get 80% of the value and the sameness, from a product that's 80% cheaper, then I usually go that direction, just because if I can save money in my hobby, I want to save money. Like, there's some things though that you just can't cut corners. Like, I found paintbrushes are one of those things, but lots of other things like X-Acto blades and knives and stuff, those things are so mass produced, you can almost always get some really awesome savings. Oh no, I think he jostled the Oh. So I had this wild berries. I feel like this month I've been trying like all of the Red Bulls. And it's good. I tried the lime earlier, and it was also very tasty.
And I would lose. So, let's just go with no, wait.
Yes.
Yeah, I got to see the last.
Okay.
think it's the last turtle I had. Because I had a whole set that was Batman and the Turtles.
Yeah.
That's gone.
Yeah, Batman versus the Turtles was awesome.
Freaking fun.
Lost all my stuff, mostly my mind.
So, Superman died.
Hey, that's Superman.
You don't care about Superman. That's
Troy, did you like the new Superman movie? What?
I haven't seen the movie in
Oh my goodness. It's really good. I feel like it's probably one of the most true to the character Superman movies that's ever come out. Yeah. With the what?
It's the dog guy.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of bad things about the new Supergirl.
I have too. I think I was reading something where they're like, not as many people familiar with the character, and because of all the streaming options, it's like, why would I want to go and spend $50 on a movie that is not something that's going to be like a clear winner? Like, I'll just wait till it comes out on stream and give it a watch, kind of thing.
Evidently, they put a lot of bull crap in it,
That makes sense.
just like the girl from Cinderella.
See, I like it at least in ETV.
Tried to make a lot of nasty comments to people.
I don't know if that is.
Like,
But it is in PC.
the stupidest thing to do is go and alienate your audience.
Yeah, they get too far. Yeah. I'll probably give it a watch when it comes out on streaming, but like, I like to find out for myself, because sometimes people make a bigger deal of it than there actually is.
They made a big deal about it. You know what?
Right.
We watched it because it's on Disney. And remake, it was like huge.
Yeah. Well, it's because they just got rid of like most of the plot, from what I heard. That's one that I'm just not even gonna watch it. Like,
They had the 7 dwarves that weren't dwarves. They didn't call them movie. Then we had another set of that were just 7 type adventures.
okay.
And what's going on now?
Yeah.
It was, I don't know. It wasn't even consistent. I understand if I want to remake the movie to a lot of time. But people, they're just freaking understand. The whole movie is not ready.
No.
Go changing that.
Yeah, well, especially also when you consider that like they are based on old fairy tales that have already kind of been like softened in terms of how intense the story is, and so it's like then you're softening something that was already softened and getting further away from the original point than the original even was.
My main one could be probably ETV.
Yeah, that's Heath Ledger. Yeah. Was it Hugh Jackman? Yeah.
It was a fun.
Yeah. Kind of adventure, action adventure. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of just like a throwaway. Like Starby, or I guess now. Champion sucks because all but two of my Pokemon can be transferred over. In my best Pokemon on my finish, it's Ushiriku, the water 1%. It has like 394 on Dojo and the yellow technical is that's higher than Dojo.
Okay. Oh man, let's see. What can I? The waist. We already did the ankles.
Hip bone connected to tailbone.
Something like that, right?
Then I think you like casual shoes that because I'm pretty sure it's the reason why all but two of my Pokemon they were trying to lower it's after them on the
It being thematic, I think they actually have Char's counterattack on. Pretty sure Quest just died. Spoilers. Only Quest stayed alive, it would have prevented a whole lot of... well, who knows. Fighting probably still would have happened, just in a different way. All that. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Of course, they had to put a mold line right in the middle of this. Like it's smooth, but gross. One thing that I found out that was very interesting is that the good old metallic Sharpie from Sharpie works super well for this.
At least that if that gets knocked out, it's only
I think this is the right piece. Yep. Let's see, what have I been watching in terms of Gundam? I just finished Gundam Seed, and it was okay. I think it really picked up in the last half. I was talking with Boris about this, where the main character, Kira, he very much just felt like a vehicle for the viewer into the story, and because of that, the story felt very, like, shallow. Like, he would have character problems, but, like, then they would just never get explored. He would just kind of be like, yep, that's a thing, and he would just kind of move on. And there were just never any real ramifications for it, narratively. Like, usually if a character is, like, avoidant, then it becomes an issue because they just keep avoiding stuff. And, you know, he has a little bit of that and kind of comes around, but it's not like there's a little bit of a moment for it, but then it's not like it just didn't feel like a big character moment. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know what it is when you see it. And it just felt like they were kind of trying to rehash the 1 Year War, and like they did a pretty good job with it, but it felt like the show was almost more focused on the totality of like the war and event versus the character work. And like the characters that ended up being the most interesting were all like the side characters to some extent, like Atherin and I'm trying to remember her name. She's like the orb princess girl. She was really cool. And like the captain of the Archangel, like she was badass. And the mentor slash pilot guy, he was cool too. Like, and I think they kind of figured that out because in Destiny it seems like it's a little bit more focused on Kira. I wish Boris was over here because he's much better at remembering all the names. I can definitely see why people have nostalgia for it. Like if they weren't super well versed in like the 1 Year War, well, like the 1 Year War also had a very good like this happens, which leads to this character being like feeling like this, which leads to this happening. And so it always felt like all of the events were kind of causally related. I kind of like the coordinator side of things versus the new types. It was kind of an interesting change up in the new type thing where it was actually like almost like Gattaca. And like what are the long-term effects of having a society like that? And of course usually the answer is war. But it kind of changed the dynamic of, you know, like with the 1 Year War, the Space Noids versus the Earthlings. Trying to check every now and then if there's comments. Lacus? No, not Lacus. Lacus was an interesting character, how she kind of came into her own at the end. I'm thinking of the Orb Princess. I think it starts with an M or something. Kind of like that sandy blonde hair. Was fighting with the rebels. Also, welcome. Welcome, welcome. Lacus Clan.
Yeah, but if you flip through and pull a bunch of stuff together, you can help them all. One of these colors.
There were a couple times where she almost had like and not in a bad way, of course, like Bene Gesserit vibes from Dune, where it's like she's definitely doing stuff behind the scenes. She's just not like she's very good at not showing her hand, and then kind of being somebody that's behind a lot of the action or rebellion. I was wondering about that with when she was kind of helping out Kira after that crash. It's definitely still like a solid like series. Definitely not trying to say that it was terrible or garbage or anything. But it just didn't have the same level of complexity. It's like the difference between like a kind of a simple dish that's been cooked versus something that has a lot of layers.
Oh no, I played
Her Haros are hilarious though.
people. I can't.
Kigali, yep, that's it. Kigali is super cool. I liked her a lot. Thank you. I don't know where that piece goes. I don't know where this piece goes. Oh, I don't know where this piece goes. You look like you go over here. This does not. This does. I think the pieces kind of got bumped there for a sec. That definitely goes there. That definitely goes there. You go there. You go over here. I think you do go right there. And G3. 14. Here we go. The two white pieces with some of the red. Johnny. That looks like what it is. Yeah. Thanks for hanging out. As we put together the RX93 new Gundam PGU, which is a mouthful, but what mobile suit name isn't a little bit of a mouthful? As my son likes to call it, Amuro's Gundam number 2. One thing that I thought was very fun from the Seed Gundams was all of the 2000s era kind of like J-pop techno stuff with the auto-tune. Pure nostalgia. Ugh, the details on this thing are just crazy. I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to stream the painting because a lot of the painting is going to involve an airbrush. And I don't think they want me airbrushing all day in the art shop. As fun as it sounds. F1. With round pieces like this, I try to do top cuts and then little cuts, just so that I'm trying to maintain the shape of it. kind of like I know it's very, very maybe like technical sounding, but it's almost like pi, where like if you draw a bunch of straight lines around a circle, eventually if the lines get small enough, it starts to form a circle. Kind of the same thing. And one thing that I teach with painting all the time is that the brain is looking for patterns, and if we can just kind of approximate patterns, then it becomes very satisfying, and it won't see, like if you have most of a circle in like a huge straight line or like a medium length straight line, it will be obvious, but if you have like 2 or 3 small straight lines, then it's much harder to notice. Troy, while you're up there, I asked Boris probably like an hour ago to put Jill and I down for the Pokemon pre-release. I asked Boris to put Jill and I down for the Pokemon pre-release coming up. Yeah. Yeah, this new shop space is really cool. It's like this hobby corner is a little bit more out in the open, and it's more like a nook. At the other store, there were kind of like several rooms. It was a very nice space. That part of it was nice because it just gave us a little bit more isolation. But it's not a bad thing either because they have to get up and help customers, and you know, I just kind of keep plugging away at this.
Regardless, I'm gonna lose anyway, so I'm just gonna send out my negative. Because regardless if anything's taken, oh, what? Okay. Not bad, but
I need to watch Char's Rebellion in its entirety again. It would be really cool if they did like a, you know, G-Flux is kind of a parallel world. It'd be really cool if they did another one with Char's counterattack, where Char actually wins. Are they getting the hang of it, Boris?
What's that, Anthony?
Are they getting the hang of it?
A little bit. I just had to separate it by my nose.
Because once I
See, everything's cleaning up nicely.
Oh yeah, I'm about done with this page, so. Oh, hey, I was gonna ask where the, didn't I bring by that gold metal ink and the Sharpies?
I don't remember I remember we talked about it, but I don't remember it being brought by.
Maybe they're still in the car? Thought I brought
I can
it
also
by.
grab my toolkit if you need the other like snippers and stuff. But
No, no. It was more, I just have some metal pieces and I was just gonna kind of,
oh yeah, it'd be a good time to
clean them up as I go.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember him coming in.
you need like 6.
Okay. Noise. It's time for the fun. Oh, like that. What kind of continues to just absolutely impress me with these is how tight the tolerances are. We have this. Let's see. So it's saying this, and then we have this guy should go in here. Okay, it's kind of pointing out the,
Yeah, it's a.
and then this
Because whenever I got this,
should go
I wanted to do.
in here.
But I realized I could just add this to my existing thing.
This slides over this. And I'm gonna set that there. Let's see. Looks like it goes this with this. Ah, okay, that's a little bit confusing. That is a-okay. This goes like this. This goes kind of sideways-ish, like so. I don't know what exactly this is meant to be yet. We'll find out. Okay. This rotates.
Definitely best check this.
Did I not do this correctly? I feel like I did not do this.
Definitely I personally.
Does not look like I did. This is what's so tricky with these really snug fits though, is man oh man, they are a little bit trickier to get separated. Okay, let's try this. That looks better? Yeah, because then that all lines up. There we go. I knew I could figure it out. Oh yeah, then it articulates how it should. Perfect.
That's also the other picture. Need someone.
This.
Be when it's active, but might want to take the place.
Okay. And then
Drop it down, get some energy out of here, supporters. Use the cards as you see them. It'll take a little bit of time to get everything that the cards will do. So that's where you have a deck to sit there, read the cards, kind of what's there. That way,
okay.
a card like Jock, you know what card you're researching. Get two of the evolutions, I have a Charmander. I can grab Charmander. Or I can grab the Charizard out.
Perfect.
Well, it's cool. I have the Charizard. Not really good, but oh. The 150 off this guy.
Okay, so this goes here. And this goes.
The rest. One of these two.
I'll show you. We're gonna get something.
Here. What it looks like before that happens, this goes here. That's cool. Wow, this is a very snug fit. Okay, and then just a little bit of cleanup. You can tell this knife is starting to dull just a little bit. Oh, I may have missed a piece. Okay, not too bad though, thankfully. This goes like this. Here. Looks like here. Yes. Wow. 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 Okay. Let's see. Let's get one of these and one of these. And
So you should be able to use more if it's actually it'll say one
Or while this Pokemon's on the bench.
Yeah.
Same thing on the bench. Or
okay, one. This goes onto this. In the lower position. And then this goes onto this. Up here. Nice. That is stiff. Ugh. Match the forms and combine them. Yeah, this one. I don't know how much further I'm supposed to go with this. Trying to see what other tools I have that could help with this. Maybe the back of some. There we go. Woo. Holy guacamole, that was tight. There. All right. Now I've got 4 sub-assemblies. Sticker, metallic 3D sticker location. We're not going to worry about those because we are going to paint those. And then we have this ball joint. So it's saying to take Ruby.
Unless it's a pre-release.
I've heard that, apparently, Troy.
Yep, okay. So this piece that we just worked on here, now we got to take it off. It's going to be fun. Probably going to need to get my plastic prying tool. Because this is going to be very, very tricky. There we go. Okay, nice. That wasn't actually that bad. Okay, and I think we can actually kind of, yeah, oh, nice. I like that a lot. Thank you, tool. You just gotta have the right tool for the right job. Okay, let's see. This is like this. Then this needs to be like this. This can go. Wow, that gives it a lot of movement. I think this is a little bit of a soft joint, but like I'm not gonna complain too much. Okay, gotta build number 2. I think maybe it wanted me to build 2 of these. Maybe waste unit number 3, waste unit number 4. Okay, yeah, no, it wants me to do that separate. Nice. Okay, I can live with that. And then this is gonna live
So,
on top of this.
get the 40 card deck.
This on the bottom.
So part of the build, just want to get into the
Then it all goes together. Okay, cool. Okay. I'm gonna take a quick bathroom break and I will be right back.
So typically you'll do a single. That's different if you play bracket. So bracket.
So last time I was here, I bought an after pack, and last time I was here, I bought an after pack, and one of those cards was off greatest first level hitter, and I took that off. That's like an issue of all crosswords, but they make 7 of the same year, different cards, but they all kind of do similar stuff that works for the same. So with that being my standard, it's like, wow, that would be way better if I had the other ones. And most marketing cards are other talks.
It's 3 people. So the marble stack, this is a very specific people only anything that's really hot.
That way the Carltons. He runs like the business school.
Over in the process of building today. Summer 94.
What's that?
Saturday morning cartoon. Plays evenings cartoons. And the original.
It's just I find it really fun how like a lot of the shows look very similar in person style. Like you compare like the way the lines are drawn or the characters between He-Man, the TNT show, and they look very similar. Like it's being the same cartoon with that entity. Besides it being Leonardo next to me.
That's what's some comic books. You're playing with Pokemon last year?
Not that app yet. No. I played it on the
Oh, Pocket.
yeah.
Pocket City.
Okay.
Pocket City. It's easy to lie with times that we can get and play it. Throw them in the trunk and go hang it with maybe some friends. Play with each other. You get it for pretty fun. Every time you drop a set, you drop it. Yeah. So you're 24 hours. When you buy some products,
I feel like this is really close. I'm just wondering if it just needs some like noise or something. In the store, it looked way, way, way closer. Like from a distance, it definitely looks better. Kind of wondered if I could just crack one of these open and get the ink out, just so I can tweak it a little bit. It looks better though overall than you know, just like not doing anything and leaving the line. The other options were all just off. And unfortunately, I do not have a gajillion dollars to spend on every single product.
So now how many I can let everybody have?
What's the limit?
One. I do have space. Let's start with
Hey, Boris, if you could put me down, or Jill and I down. Nice.
you look for the
You just didn't say anything. What was that?
for the pre-release.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got your names on here.
Sweet.
Got a lot of people that haven't paid yet.
Bless you. Okay. Let us continue. Snip. Well, I guess I need to do this as well.
Some of them are much more. Try to go through all
B4, XK1, 3. I'll probably just get both of them snipped out.
which they play it.
Pokemon is deceptive. You're talking about Pokemon, right?
Yeah.
Pokemon's deceptive because there are a lot more layers of abstraction. Like, you kind of have to know what's in your deck, how to get to it, and what's in your opponent's deck, and how they can get to it so that you can adjust, you can, like, disrupt them. And so, compared to a game like Magic, it can end up being very, very complex.
So there are cards. Look at the top 7. Look at the top 3. Play this card and draw 6 more cards. You know, so you go through your deck. That's what it means.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of the supporters that do things, those are the ones who put it in there in the first place. So you got a guy that normally hits for 180, he's up for 350.
Yeah, the other thing is the prize cards. Like, you have to figure out what's in your prize cards so you can adapt your strategy very quickly.
That makes
And so you kind of you have to have a total understanding of what's here, what's in there, and then the same with your opponent at higher levels. Because, like, if you can figure out that they're missing like a key piece or a piece, and you kind of like mess with their plan of how they can get to it, like, it can. And so that aspect of just like the total strategy of the metagame is very different than a game like Magic. Magic's a great game. I'm not trying to say that it isn't, of course, but a lot of people just think it's kind of simple at first because it's like one thing versus one thing. And but anyways.
There's another.
Wow.
So then she's talking to you.
Friday, I guess we'll be back.
Oh yeah.
I got one, she got one.
She's talking. She's just grinning. Look what I got. So you didn't even want all of them?
They're a dollar piece.
Anyway, also since you do like conference, they have board bags that sell for 26 a piece. So if you ever have comics, they're on the bag. Everything there in the bag.
This one is, some of them are not.
So we're not. We talked to her every day. Yeah. And there are a lot of things, but it's going to be, it's like way too hot.
do you have another spot for? Well, I asked him one twice. Wow. Yeah, the one that's this weekend. I playing for him. Yeah, you have me. I did. Did you say he's not allowed to go on family vacation? You gotta get on her mom's good side.
I was.
And her dad's good side.
That would probably be easier to get.
So we can hang out here a lot.
Yep.
We hang out here a lot. We'll pick up shop.
Oh, my magic decks. But you have some that you have.
But I have?
Yeah.
I have one commander deck that's going to be bought out of box.
I tell them what.
Well, yeah, I'll try. I'm here to play.
It's okay.
Oh, he cheats, does he?
Wait, let's like just play ourselves.
Look at that silver sprue. This guy. Get this guy off of here.
Bring your stuff. We play either standard or. Yep.
Let's see. That other F. 1. All those. I don't know if I have that guy XK. Is it XK? Yeah, it looks like it. Maybe it did. It's just kind of. Yep, here it is. XJ. Yeah, these are two separate aspects. XB. XG.
Oh, you did? Nice. I was only able to get a boost box. I mean, the ETB sold out like crazy. And they have a new thing on their website where it will tell you up on the waiting screen. Oh, yeah. So, like, I was waiting and I was like 8 hours. And it popped up on top and said, ETBs are sold out, and it dropped down for an hour. Oh, because everyone was still trying to get a hold of it. Yeah, everybody was trying to get a hold of ETBs. That people know they weren't there. I got that. Nice. You got to stay and then. So I got to stay and I was able to do the block. So, yeah. Have a good day. All right, take care. Okay. Can you do this screenshot for me? Okay. Yeah. I appreciate it. I remember it's like a R&B 77.
XJ14.
Alright.
What up? I'm getting stuff snipped out of here.
Oh my gosh, what is this? Look at this.
is assembly.
That is cool.
XJ 5 6. But yeah, if you want to start to like work on cleaning some of
I got some more snips out
some of
here.
this, yeah. It should be kind of close to their approximate locations. But how'd the Pokemon education go?
Pretty good. So
Do they have fun?
yeah. The the agreement from the girlfriend was that she put up with the collecting as long as they didn't play, and I just taught them how to play. So
I mean, if she can get into the play though, that would. But
it's such a great game.
seemed like she is kind of a Magic fan.
A little bit. There's definitely a lot to love about playing Magic the Gathering,
Oh yeah,
but yeah,
the cost it definitely isn't one of those things.
this is true. Not if you're trying to stay current on all their sets.
Oh yeah.
But
13.
yeah, they had a good time. We'll see them on our pre-release.
Nice.
All right, is that going to be a sprue tab that I?
Yes.
Okay.
You want me to snip it?
I don't know. It's all good. I was just making sure there was enough meat on it, and I was like, maybe that's a locator.
Yeah. You need to snip it?
Uh, and
15.
Rachel's called me. She's like, "Hey, you gonna come swimming with your sister today?" I'm like, "Why is it that time already?" I feel like I just got here. Yeah. No, they got Pokemon accounts. You just log in at Pokemon.com. They can get a number generated through there.
On the app. And not on the app, just Pokemon.com. And there's a section where you go My Play Pokemon and you'll get a number for it.
Okay.
Play Reggies.
XB. I feel like I need both of these. XB 4. It is definitely a good feeling to keep making some progress on this bad boy.
Yeah, I was getting kind of antsy.
You said same.
It's like, we got all the pieces. We just need to get some time now.
This was 5. So that goes there. Found a decent looking little set of glass files on Amazon. I was gonna pick up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they were just like 16, 17 bucks.
It's not bad.
It's like it seems like most of the time that kind of stuff ends up being pretty good value for money. Like a lot of the stuff that comes in prettier packaging is essentially the same product, just
Yeah.
and prettier packaging.
It's got a nicer box.
Sometimes a nice little carrying pouch for it or whatever is nice to have, but it's definitely not worth the like
Bit of interesting marketer's psychology that goes
$35 upcharge.
Yeah.
Like
glass files. $87. Oh wait, they're the exact same product.
wow, thank you for selling me this thing that is way more expensive than it should be. I can really feel the care.
I see that sometimes when I'm helping customers now to like select tires for their car.
Uh-huh.
They're like, but these ones, I'm like, yes, but in terms of everything you care about,
Yeah.
ride, maybe not exactly ride
And
quality.
why are they more
but,
money? They must be better.
But it's like you're buying the name at this point because
Yeah.
like my tire's an 80,000 mile tire. That's an 80,000 mile tire.
Yep.
They're both a highway tread design that are be quiet on the road. Like, you don't need to spend another $150 a tire.
Yeah, some people really just,
It's one of
or
those,
it's just
like,
not a concern for them. Like, which it's like cool and good for you, but
it's some of that stuff is left over from like the carburetor era. Like I still run into a lot of that when it comes to tuning and high performance stuff. And
do we have another Sharpie? Or not Sharpie. Exacto.
yes.
Oh, nice. Sorry, dude.
It's all good.
I feel like I made you take a trek.
Yes, all the way to the back.
I was going to show you. It's kind of hard to see. Like, you see though, right in there?
Yeah.
Or slightly darker, that's the Sharpie. Before, it just looks like a very stark, like, line.
Oh.
And so, I'm wondering if I can just, like, extract the ink out of this.
Oh, right.
And just add a little bit of, like, titanium white or something. Just bump it up.
Right.
Oh,
Push
just
it.
a smidge. Because I also have... Oh, where's the stuff I brought?
It's all on this table over
And
here. I think.
I brought some of those pens.
Yeah.
And I can mix this stuff up and show you here in a second too. But this stuff is very close.
I've got this back here that we can paint on instead of the cool custom playmats.
Oh yeah. Don't worry, I'm not gonna go crazy with the paintiness right now.
I don't know why my brain just said so. In the store today, we got Charged Counterattack on, and I hear the end theme, and it's just one of those like anime and Japanese film of that era always seem to have some kind of like there was a parable.
Yeah.
Right, you watch the
yeah.
Godzilla, and yeah, it's Godzilla, but it's also, you know, man's own destruction at his hand, meddling with forces beyond his control. You know, that sort of warning for the nuclear age and that sort of stuff.
I wonder. I was actually just thinking about something similar with this, where it seems like a lot of those have like either they're like not exactly happy endings, or sometimes they're just like straight up just like sad.
Oh, right, yeah.
And I listened to that lecture series. I think I was telling you about it from Sarah Payne.
What's that? It's the store phone?
Just had one person change to the
So which one is it? Yes.
I still have.
Well, yeah, we try to make sure that we get them out ahead of time, just because it does fill up fairly quick. I understand the pain on that. I apologize.
Well, he's talking on the phone. I'm gonna go grab these pens really quick. What's up, Ray?
They won't filter you, but
The trick with these is you see the paint on the bottom, like the pigment is bubbly. It's actually fully like integrated into the medium. You really want that when you're playing around with it. But don't know if there's really any difference between all of these.
Dad made this. No, it's not.
So, yeah, but are they the same line, so we're stuff from otherwise you wind up with a
No,
different
this is the leaderboard display.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you might want to.
Is there anything that
Because that does show up.
Oh, you could just, yeah.
Okay. Hopefully this works. I don't see why it wouldn't, but there we go. It's starting to kind of finally bleed in.
So, see the leaderboard.
Okay, there we go. It worked. So if we have pieces like this, I hope is that touch-up is relatively simple. What's very tricky with metallic paints is that it can be very, very hard to see how well it worked until it's dried.
All you guys is up to getting where you guys are. Get the stuff. Never want to go on runs.
So you remember the one where you get the roster and you try to touch it? What was your problem? You just walking down the street. Yeah, that's the Pokemon Go. It's Pokemon Go. Did you go get outside more? A little different than this. I did the free thing.
Okay, we'll let that dry for a second. We'll come back. I'm doing an experiment. Let's see if I can, I kind of want to Google this really quick. Inside of Sharpie. That is.
तो गाइस इसको निकालने के लिए आपको दांतों का उपयोग करना पड़ेगा इसको बहुत परमानेंट मार्कर हमारा कैमरे का परमानेंट मार्कर है इसको यूज कर रहे हैं तो गाइस ये हमारा टारगेट मार्कर है
I know it's got a lot of meat for stuff. There's a lot of fans in the show. It's really good as far as product game goes.
Thank goodness for this kid, because
Right now we're playing on Wednesdays and Saturdays. Wednesdays at 5 and Saturdays. So you do have your numbers though.
Yes, we have our numbers.
I just don't know if it's gonna be the same. I'm gonna have to take one of these home and just do an experiment because I need this metal to be just like a little bit lighter.
Yeah.
You're gonna shop somewhere else.
Oh, you want
It's just crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Everyone's like, hey, your event that's happening literally 3 days from now, is there any space? I'm like, no. We sold it all 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, this next set, it's interesting how like the kind of the title. I'm really surprised though with this last set that people weren't more excited with
Yeah, with the Greninja?
Greninja, because Greninja's usually like,
He was
especially Mega Greninja.
Gen 4, Gen 5 starter was the popular one from that set of starters. That and the Finnegan.
Well, and then was like one of the stars of the anime as well.
Oh
at the
yeah,
time
with
Ash.
Ash's Greninja, they spent a lot of time together.
Well,
Yeah.
with especially with all the kind of like chosen one, guardian of the forest kind of thing,
Oh,
and then made a reappearance later on.
and as a card, he's good
Yeah,
too. So like, I'm with you. I don't understand. Darkrai's got more hype.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I do really like Darkrai, but I'm trying an experiment to see how well this.
Oh, like touches it.
I do feel like it matches it pretty well, but it's definitely like an acrylic. Like you can kind of see some of the flake. I feel like the alcohol.
Oh, to thin it.
No, when it's an alcohol medium,
Oh yeah.
it just tends to work better. But it's so tricky, like because I just cannot find anything else that's closer than this. Like you can see, like it looks
Yeah.
really,
From over
really
here, if
close.
I'm not staring, it's blends in well.
And that's always the dilemma is like, is that close enough that like it's just not going to be a huge deal, you know, as you.
Yeah. Ideally, it need, like I want to see it when it dries a little bit, but
Yeah, I mean, you can kind of see a little
Yeah.
bit of it on this.
particularly for the touch-ups, like what you're doing there, that's not bad because it's in sort of those crevices and
Right.
things.
Well, and most of it seems like they did a good job of kind of positioning most of them so that they're kind of like that.
Yeah.
There's just some where, yeah, like that looks really close. Like I feel like if that gets some primer on it,
Oh yeah.
like, you know, you can kind of tell where it is, but it's not like distracting.
No, until you started rolling it around and like it had a different gloss to it. I didn't see it right away.
Well, and that's what's just so hard with doing touch-ups and paint in general is like it'll look very different, like to your eye, like or you can see a texture difference until you finish it, and then it'll just be seamless once it has like
Oh yeah.
you know the right kind of varnish. Where's this guy?
Always gotta have this guy.
So far, this fit has not. Oh, that was much more snug. That's kind of surprising, actually. My complaints have now vanished. Yeah, so far I still think OG Gundam as a whole has much, much more story depth than Seed. I was talking about that earlier on the
Oh
stream
yeah. And that's one of the
when I was
things.
talking to myself. And
The
look at that. That's so cool.
nice.
But like it also articulates this way,
Mhm.
and then it also articulates here.
That's so cool.
And most of it is also kind of like there's detail
Oh yeah.
underneath.
Yeah, just like all the other ones.
Trying to get this to pop off. About to pop off. Or not. See,
Oh yeah,
like there's nothing in here, but like.
the detail under the cap for some reason.
Dun, 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 That's from OG Gundam, right? That song. Oh, Star Children.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But that like even like Wing, it has so much philosophical exposition.
Yeah.
And there was a different way to do it, but because a lot of the stuff I think in the Universal Century they kind of lay it out, and then you understand it as you examine the story. You know, like they don't come out necessarily and go, this is what Godzilla is, and this is the story we're telling.
Right.
You go,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, the terror of Godzilla.
They make you deal with it. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you kind of get that in the Universal Century.
Yes.
And then in Wing, they were like, what is war? And they have like several scenes where they're just sitting there talking about their role in things.
They're never just talking about it though. They're always also just like fighting at the same time.
Yeah, and it was a different just a different storytelling, and that's
Yeah.
I get to see it, and I'm watching this character, and I'm not getting anything. And then I see everything that they copied from the other stuff, and I just want to punch somebody.
Yeah.
And I appreciate where they were going with it and stuff. And I was like, God,
did we talk about this? I was talking about it earlier. I'm going to talk about it again.
Yeah.
Because I feel like ultimately Kira is kind of a little bit of a blank of a character, like because he's such a vehicle for the audience.
Oh,
but
right.
because they kind of confront him with like stuff like, you don't know who your mom is, and he's just like, nope, I don't, I'm gonna go program a Gundam. It's just kind of like, okay, you don't care about this, that's weird.
Yeah.
And ultimately he's such a he has some like character or moral problems he's trying to understand or deal with, and it seems like they did a little bit more of this early in the series, and he just got more and more generic as time went on.
Right.
But like to the point though that like a lot of the secondary characters start to become way more interesting and kind of in Destiny become the stars of the show.
Yeah, we were talking about that a little bit, where they just sort of they have actual personal development and progress in their narratives that the main character never really achieves.
Yeah, and like especially Atherin, he's kind of going through it, man. And they lean into that a little bit more in Destiny, which I really appreciate, because it's like, yep, he's a real living, breathing character that has ghosts and skeletons in the closet. And it's like the same with Amuro, where it's like, and even with Origins Amuro, because a lot of people don't like the fact that he's not a dunce. He just doesn't really care about school.
He was so aloof.
And he's very aloof. And he's very aloof in OG Gundam as well.
Yeah, especially early on, where he's still that kid that had the benefit of just being able to tinker.
Yes.
Like he was smart, and he could sit there and kind of, regular school I'm sure was boring for him, and then you just see him sit there and fiddle with stuff, and he could hang out and fiddle with stuff, and that was all he cared about.
Well, and it's
then the rest of the world showed up and kicked his teeth in.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, if you kind of like lay out like just verbally like Amuro's character versus Kira, it's like with Amuro, it's like my colony got attacked because there's a project that shouldn't be here, but it's here, and there's this giant robot, so I jumped in. And like my dad's an a-hole. He may have gotten blown up, but like I'm still kind of bummed my dad got blown up.
Yeah.
And now I'm on the ship, and this captain is super cool, but he keeps telling me to quit being a little bee.
Yeah, now I have to go kill people all the time.
Smacking me, and like, now I have to go kill people all the time, and I'm not super comfortable with it. But if I don't do it, then everybody dies. And also, if I hesitate about it too much, then I get smacked in the face.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, maybe I deserve to get smacked in the face. And like, I'm gonna go find mom. And it's like, then mom's like, you're not my child anymore, because like you're a soldier, and so that sucks. And then I find dad, and he's still more interested in the Gundam than he is me.
Yeah.
And so then I kind of have a bit of a psychotic break. And you just like, if you just lay out all of the character stuff, it's like, oh man, he is going through it. Whereas with Kira, it's just kind of like, I am smart boy on colony, and reprogram this because you're dumb, and like I don't really know who my mom and dad are, but I guess that's okay because like chicks dig it, and like
They kinda do.
and then it's like I'm kind of bummed that like people don't like me because I'm coordinator, and I'll be angsty about this for the next 10 episodes, then I won't really care much anymore. And it's just like, okay, what do you like, you know? It's like then I'm gonna try to run off, and it's like, oh, people are gonna die if I run off, so I go back, and it's just like there's just never any emotional tension, like with him the same way. Like there's, do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah, even the scene where he's gets into the middle of that firefight and saves Captain Mirai
yeah,
and stuff. I'm like, what is he doing there?
yeah,
You know, it Amuro's decision to leave the bunker to go find his dad was sort of understandable from
Yeah.
a sheltered young kid's perspective.
right,
And you know, he had some familiarity with the Gundam because his dad had worked on it, and he'd poked around his private, files.
and
So it's like-
Origins helps spell that out, where it wasn't just a complete like
Right. So,
I'm just jumping in and
but it,
oh, I'm a genius, like
well, and he has to like stumble through the manual in the middle of
Yeah.
the fight the whole time, and just gets really lucky.
yep. Also a new type.
Yeah,
That helps.
that doesn't hurt. But with Kira, they're like, get in the thing, do the thing. He's like, I'm the thing.
Yep.
Like, what's just happening?
And it's like there should still be some learning curve. It's like yes, he's a coordinator, but like, and he's brilliant, but like, it just felt, and then it wasn't kind of like a
Nobody really ever questioned it though.
no,
after
nobody ever
that.
questions it. Nobody ever. He's
It-
just like, well, he wants to help us, so let's just let him help us. Like,
Yeah, and then like from the other side up with Amuro, Bright wants to get him the hell out of the cockpit as soon as possible, but the commander of the ship, I forget his name, he was injured in some of the combat. He's like, if he can do it, make him do it, but we got to get the hell out of here.
yep.
And it was
Well, and then on the other side of things, you also have Sayla and Char, and like there's something
Yeah.
going on there, and then, it's like, and this Char dude he just has so much aura, like I may as well just root for them because they're actually competent, and it doesn't seem like he really likes the rest of the Xeon people, but like he's kind of being cordial, like,
yeah, he
um,
Char is wild on his own, man.
oh yeah,
Well, we've talked about how wild he is. I mean, he's selling hamburgers now.
yep, those brand deals,
The one that
Um,
was interesting talking about some of that stuff with like Camille's setup was kind of wild. He was just unhinged to start with, but some of the stuff that really kind of humanized him was when he sees his mom get killed in front of him.
hmm
The Titans capture his mom. She's in some sort of glass
yeah, they
case
just
pod.
kind of pop her out in space and are like,
Yeah, and
Pick,
then which one of the Titans pilots it was, but he's fires from him at a distance, so he doesn't necessarily see that there's a person in the pod. He says he thinks it's a bomb,
yeah,
and so Camille sees his mom die right in front of him, and he knew the whole time that his dad had been cheating on his mom. So he had like all this pent up character stuff
when you
come
it
out,
rationalizes the anger.
right? And then you
like,
understand
it
why he's so
gives-
unhinged.
Yeah, it
You're
gives
like,
on
oh,
top of having like, kind of a very French like femme-ish, like it could be a boy or a girl's name, and so that
Yeah,
means
yeah.
it's a girl's name. And so he's just like pissed. It's like it makes it feel more justified versus like, oh, he's just like an angry brat.
Right, and it was the way they get you there though was really kind of interesting in that story. You go, oh shit.
Yep. Yeah, it's like, well, and then it's almost like it kind of makes me think of like Zuko from
Oh yeah.
Avatar: The Last Airbender, where
That's
he's
so
another
good.
character that very much has to deal with that anger, and maybe it's just like a bit of a like I just relate with that a little bit, but I think it just makes for a very compelling character as well.
Yeah,
Much
it's-
more than a kind of
it-
kind of mealy mouth like they just let things like I was listening to the lecture series with Brandon Sanderson,
Oh yeah.
and excellent author. I don't know if you've read much of his stuff, but as a DM I would highly recommend it because it just gives you insights into how to craft stories well. But
Yeah.
he was talking about like one of the things that just makes for a good character is they're just proactive.
Oh, yeah.
And Hida is just not proactive. Like he's proactive in the sense of like I'm going to go sit in my Gundam and do something, but he's not really proactive in the sense of like there's stuff going on. Like I'm gonna go out and help him, and everybody else has to kind of deal with it.
Right. They're like,
There's-
oh, we should go because he's pulling
Yeah.
us there.
It's like it'd be like if you had a character and they were just like, oh man, this dungeon just opened up. Well, I'm gonna go home and sit on the couch and like see how this
There you go,
pans out.
Candy blocks.
And so it's that's not interesting. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You want somebody that's gonna at least from like a narrative perspective gonna
Yeah.
go and
That's one of the things we
Kinda
always talked about
put
with
themselves in danger or risk.
writing bad guys.
Yeah.
Like you don't have a bad guy just hanging out. Like the one that always drove me crazy in the current 5e stuff was Strahd. Like
Mhm.
Strahd's just hanging out being an ancient vampire in his castle.
Yeah.
He's kind of a butthole, but
I'm gonna sit here and brood and be
Yeah,
a
like,
broody.
the only reason anybody like he ever does anything is because people tried to do stuff to him.
Yeah.
You know, largely at this
It's
point.
like so he's a good guy. Like
No,
I, you know, it,
just he's
no, I mean, I'm just
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
saying, like, from a narrative perspective, you can get yourself into that situation really quickly. Of like, if you don't really lay out like why what they're doing is bad, or the general effects of it, then it can,
Yeah.
like, it can very quickly go that direction.
right.
Like-
So and then there's always when we talked about it from every character needs a motivation of some kind. Particularly with your bad guy. Like, why is your bad
Mhm.
guy out there trying to take over the world? What do they get out of it? What is it that, how does that align with their worldview where they're going to pursue this action, and
Almost to the point that like, if it was just a little different, or you looked at their perspective entirely, they could be the good guy or
and
like the
that's,
protagonist.
yeah, if you really, because from their perspective, they are.
Yes.
Typically, the
Mhm.
the good bad guys are, because, like the kingdom that launches an attack against their neighbors. They don't see themselves as the bad guy. They see themselves as preemptively defending themselves or whatever. Maybe they were manipulated on the backside with bad intel from a third party. Whatever it happens to be, the bad guy should see themselves in their own story as the good guy.
Well, and this is what's hard about like heroes and villains, anyways, is that you sometimes very often it is just about perspective.
Yeah.
Like I think of it more as like the like when is the juice just not worth the squeeze because the side effects of it are so terrible for everyone. Like, and I think that the colony drops are a good example of that.
Oh,
for
yeah,
instance, where it's just kind of like you understand it to some extent because it's just everything's just so stagnant. But on the other side, it's like, well, you're killing like billions of people.
Well, and then the thing is crazy. They do it again when we like the first colony dropped at the start of the 1 Year War, and then the Titans gas Texas colony and kill another billion people or whatever it was.
Yep.
And you're like, why? What did that achieve? Nothing. Largely. Yeah, it's insane.
Well,
So-
and some of it, like, I mean, this is just like, it's interesting because, like, I can kind of go on tangent.
Yeah.
This can be partially for the stream is,
Yeah.
humans, like, especially like early humans, and like the precursors, were a part of why we survived and what our niche is endurance hunters.
Yeah.
Like we can just, it doesn't matter what the animal is. Humans can just out endure them. It doesn't matter if it's a horse or a cheetah or,
Yeah.
you pick an animal, a human can out endure,
Yeah.
not outrun.
Yeah,
Of course,
you
they're not the
just
fastest, but
chase it, never let it rest, and when it's finally tired, you beat it
you
with
just
a
beat
rock,
it over the head. Yeah.
and then you're done.
We're smarter too, so we can do things like ambush.
Yeah.
But if the ambush doesn't work, you can just outwalk it essentially, because even at a walking pace, a human can exhaust a horse or
Yeah.
a gazelle. And so, what one of the theories to some extent is that that's also how humans engage in warfare against one another.
Oh.
Who can out endure the other? It isn't necessarily about who can kill the most soldiers, one side or the other. Having your fellow soldiers killed is exhausting.
Yeah.
Like dealing with the emotional strife of that is exhausting. And I think a part of the point that was being made when I was listening to this was that in World War II, America had better supply lines, so we just didn't get as exhausted. When you can have hot meals and ice cream close to the front line, like in cake, it's like, cool, I can keep fighting, man. Like, you know, I can put up with some more suck.
Yeah.
You know, whereas the Germans were eating moldy bread, like.
And moldy bread, no bullets.
Yep. And so I think the same apply, like the thinking with like a colony drop, if we're treating it closer to being real, is like this will just exhaust the other colony. It'll make them like, but terror usually doesn't do that. Terror actually, I think, usually actually riles up a population. And so the only reason why the atomic bombs worked to some extent was because the Japanese saw the Russians coming from the other side, and they were like, we just can't endure that much more on another front when the Chinese are already pressing us, and the Americans, who just, you know, they're almost like peers in terms of combat.
And you go, well, fight to the death, and you go, well, it looks like we're gonna die. You go,
well, and
do we accept that?
The manufacturing in Japan was also very like cottagey. Like they were making guns and bullets and everything, like, you know, in their house. And so an attack like that, or the fire bombings, actually did damage them in terms of their like output for the war. So there's like a lot of these little things that start to add up, and they just go, no, as a population, we're at our end in terms of what we can endure as a total society, and that's part of what. And so it's like at the end of an engagement like that, you can use that to push the last little bit, but if it's the instigation, then it just riles up everybody.
Yeah, you put a lot of gas in the other guy's tank.
Yeah. And so I think that's part of what happened with, I think that the colony drop did lead to that in part with, but it also was like, no, we're going to really fight for this, you know, during the 1 year war.
Yeah.
But like if it had gone on longer, kind of like what happens with GQucks, like it very quickly led to, because you just have half the population die, you just can't maintain infrastructure. But anyways, I think those things are
right. But it all fits in with like the motivations of characters and how, you know, you can. Why do they do it in the first place? And what are the effects of their ongoing actions?
Right.
You know, because even then, like, can the villain maintain or sustain? You know.
I'm gonna start to put this one together, just because I put the other, the one half together over here. So I'm gonna do this one, and then I'll let you do the other half, so that way you can kind of get hands on.
Feel like I've contributed to my. Oh, my spine. Actually, I believe it's time for you to head out, sir.
Almost. I think I have a little bit of time.
Okay.
Yeah, I have some time.
Just didn't want you to.
No, I appreciate
be past time there. Oh, man. That goes back also, like we were talking about, you know, being proactive.
Yeah.
Because if in the story, you know, you're doing a D&D or something, if the bad guy has no real reason to be doing it outside of their bad guys, like,
yes, it's very boring.
It's so flat.
Yeah.
Nothing hits right. And you go, well, what if we just don't? You're like, well, what do you mean if you just don't?
Whoa, that's an option?
Yeah, you're like, yeah, what if we just, you know, leave the guy over there brooding in his castle, being an evil butthead? You're like, oh. Then eventually he'll do something about it.
Yeah.
It was kind of one of the things about the Netflix Castlevania. You know, Dracula had gotten to a point where he was chilling, he was hanging out with his wife, doing things,
and then
somebody had to kill off a killer.
Yep.
And then there was no stopping him from there.
Nope. When it's like you almost root for him.
Dude, and like, really at that point, like you're like, okay, you're overreacting, but I can kind of get it. You know, it's just brutal. That's one of the things too that makes the writing good. The antagonist has clear motivation.
Yes.
Okay. Oh man. Golly, hey.
Yeah,
I realized you were talking with.
we were talking about Seed a little bit earlier too,
Oh.
where it's just like Kira and Kigali are just like the most interesting parts of that story.
I'm not sure if he's hanging out with us still. I don't see it. So. I'd always like to see maybe a what if spinoff for Sayla.
Yes, that would be really cool.
It's more G-Quicks, but Sayla went on to lead Xeon.
Yep.
Like, what does that look like? Restoring Xeon to what their father's
I think
ideals,
so.
you know.
Yeah.
Like,
well, and what's really interesting, I think and I don't know, I haven't really looked into the history of this, and I really should. One thing that's very interesting to me about the Xeon as a whole is like it's very reminiscent of the American Independence War to some extent. We just like didn't drop a bomb on England. Like we
right.
did to some extent though economically, like
yeah.
where they were already kind of down and then we kicked them and France helped.
Yeah, France was very glad to do that.
And so it's almost like asynchronous like bombing. I don't know a good way to like because economic effects do have effects on livelihoods.
Yeah, which was really the big thing about the Stamp Act. It wasn't necessarily stamps.
No.
It was about printed materials like money.
Yes.
And banking. But that was the big concern with the Stamp Act, as it were. But yeah, now everybody, you take a whole population's no longer using currency, and now they're shooting your guys, and they're all the way over there.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, from if they hadn't gone, like another really interesting, would have been like they don't drop the colony, like it's like if you don't go to that extreme and you don't rile up the other side of the populace that quickly, then I think the war very quickly becomes something where it's just like, why are we fighting this?
Especially after it had stagnated, right?
Yeah.
We're 9 months in.
Let them have their independence. Who cares? Like.
Yeah, I would definitely see the remaining Earth population go, what are we doing?
Yeah.
That was one of the other things, like the zombies.
Yeah, the zombies were definitely. I mean, what is it? The main guy, Zabi.
Giran?
Not the old guy.
No, Giran was his son.
Was it his son?
Him, yeah.
Yeah.
Because he did get to a point where he
Giran
was gonna
just like
negotiate for peace.
Yeah.
They're like, peace? We can't do that.
No.
Fire the giant space mirror laser.
Yep. Well, and he's such an instigator, like, in that regard, that it's just kind of like, okay, like.
Yeah, and then Kaisila had to laser beam him in the back of the dome.
See, I can get down with that, though.
For sure. She was definitely, like, she was very level-headed in that evil stepmom sort of way.
Yeah.
But you're just like, okay, you're going to do you. But at the very least, I can imagine that if a treaty had been reached with her, that it would have gone maybe, kind of Cold War-ish, or, all the secret programs that every government has for weapons development.
Oh, yeah.
They would have maintained all their stuff, but it wouldn't have been hot war, and people could actually reestablish economies and that sort of stuff.
Well, once economies are reestablished, it's kind of, like they would have maintained general control of the sides as well.
Yeah.
And so it's like, the Xeon would have maybe taken a quarter or more, and then if you have more that start pushing for independence, then that creates some complexity. But
Well, then too, from the whole Space Immigration Act, right?
right,
Do they continue to push for the Federation? You know, getting everybody off the planet?
Yeah.
Or do they go, hey?
well,
Yeah.
weren't people wanting to get off the planet?
No, that was part of the trouble. You ended up with an elite that wanted to stay on Earth, particularly after they got a bunch of people off and things started to improve.
Right.
You know, like, hey, look, it's kind of working. And then, of course, you know, you've got all these government officials and all the infrastructure it takes to keep them alive and happy. And then so you end up with like this other class of people. And they weren't really like a low class of person. They were all the you know, your sanitation workers and your hotel
Right.
staff and stuff. The people that would be there so that diplomats and whatever can have their meetings, that kind of support infrastructure. And again, we've talked about it before, but that scene with Hathaway talking to the cab driver,
Right.
where eventually just go, I don't know what he's on about. Nobody wants to leave. There's no reason for us to leave anymore.
Mhm. It's like we've got bigger fish to fry. Like I need food on the table. Like
Yeah, you're like, so yeah, my immediate needs are what I'm worried about, and unless the philosophical and political pressures of the day.
well, it's like I mean, it is kind of true to some extent even now, where it's like being able to think about those things. Some of it I think is just
Yeah,
I think maybe half of it is economic. The other part of it is just kind of like if it's not affecting me directly, then I'm not going to. What's the point of thinking about it?
right. It can also be a bit of a luxury. Like if your needs are met, now you can worry about things
Right.
outside of your immediate zone. But you know, if you're still trying to make sure you can eat tomorrow,
Yeah, that's a very different story.
yeah, then you're like, I don't care what the one guy has to say about the state of the Federation.
Yeah.
I need food. You know, I haven't considered if I agree with him or not. I need food.
I don't care until
Yeah.
I have food.
Yeah, definitely. Let's go here. Still amazed at the engineering on this kit.
No, it's crazy.
So I'm looking at it, like we're just looking at, you know, some of the basics for the waste module. And we're like, so many details.
Man,
It's
you know
awesome.
what I should do is I should really just get a sample of this paint and send it to a couple of my friends in the industry and be like,
Oh yeah.
what's gonna match this close enough? Like, and
Yeah,
like, not only
we could take,
finish,
you know,
like I
some
still
of these
have,
empty
yeah, I just
screws.
send them sprue and
Yeah,
like
because you got that one,
of the
this
different
one.
colors because there's a couple of slightly different, like you
Yeah,
can kind
there's
of
two
tell a little bit
golds.
more where this one's a little bit more red, and that's part of why I got the pipettes and brought inks is
Oh
like
yeah, yeah.
to get close. But like I'm wondering if they could help us get even closer because
And you're gonna accidentally create a whole new product line.
no, I mean like well they just have they could just help us get the right finish. Like
Yeah,
um
but
like, I don't know
then
if they
they'll
could-
then they'll launch the PGU paint touch-up set.
yeah,
A
no,
whole new
I mean
product line.
seriously, like it could end up helping them too.
Yeah, because that would be one of the things that would be definitely very cool. You could we could go back and do more intricate like panel lining on
Mhm.
everything, and then have more options for touch-up or recoloring.
Well, and it just seems like Bandai as a whole is very okay with letting the market kind of figure out some of these problems.
Yeah, because they're like, we spent enough time, a lot of
Yeah.
time. We delivered a
building
high
the
quality
kit.
product. They're very comfortable with what they've done,
Yeah,
and they should be. These are amazing.
they are amazing.
And they go, if you want more, you guys can have more.
Mhm. Oh man.
All right,
I
Anthony,
mean-
is that a required peg up there on the top of that thing? The little,
Yes, I would leave that be. It
Okay.
continues into the rest of the piece as well.
yeah, I thought it might.
Usually that's a good indication.
All right. What did I get into? My arms,
Get some poison ivy or something?
I guess.
Ow.
I don't know. All my years as a mechanic, I've developed some weird sensitivities to certain of the cleaners and chemicals and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah. Oh yeah,
And
that makes
just-
sense.
That arm has been itchy for a long time. It's healing, but it's just like, I don't know what this is.
I was gonna say I was just gonna leave these, just like all of this stuff in this like Ziploc-y.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Like if that's cool.
Yeah, so far, we don't have really anybody bothering the new modeling area. We've had some people use it, but there's
Yeah, I noticed.
borehole spaces in here, which is kind of nice. So the stealing the table like we had been.
The other thing that's so tricky. Sorry, I'm gonna keep going.
Yeah.
With this, like airbrushing metals
Oh gosh,
makes such a huge difference. Like in terms of how smooth things are. But again, I just don't know how far we want. I like with this kit. Like I just want to be able to varnish and paint a line that kind of piece.
oh yeah,
Like I don't think it needs to go any further than that in terms of how nice the finish will end up being.
yeah. It's well done as it is. It'd be nice to just get a couple of those details to pop off of there.
Yeah, I'll definitely reach out to a couple of my friends and just see if I can send them some screw. Just to be like, what's gonna match this close, because that would help so much. And don't forget, I think. Are you gonna keep going? You think? Try to.
Yeah, for a
finish
little,
some
I'll
of the-
finish the assembly on what we've got here,
Nice, do it.
and then it may end up being.
I think it's only like one more page past this too. So
Oh. Okay. Yeah, because it'd be.
there's
nice to
there's
get
a little. I looked ahead a little bit. Like
Yeah.
it looks like this piece mounts a little bit high. Yeah, here you can kind
Oh,
of see
okay,
some of
yeah,
it.
yeah, I see. And
Or
then it's
like-
got a it's got a whole axle. That's awesome. Oh, with this guy, yeah.
Yeah, this kind of goes like this, and then this holds a couple of them, and so there's gonna be some like swiveling or something here. then-
Gyration unit.
Yeah, and then all of this I think starts to like
Yeah.
get mounted on top of that, or maybe
Yeah.
it's just like this. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's all we needed though was a hip gyration unit.
Either way, it's starting to look really cool. I wish I didn't have to go.
It's all good. I'm glad that we could do this.
Oh
again.
yeah, dude.
And I think we're gonna be on our regular schedule next week. We'll see how mad they are that I wasn't there today.
I need to relax. Insane. Gonna set that there for now. That's okay.
Yeah. What the? Hello? I don't know. I haven't had a chance to look at it after you sent me the message.
Grab that. My other pair of snips. Use the restroom. All right. To the stream. I want to say goodbye.
Let me give it. I'm in the middle of something. Let me give you a call back. It'll be just a minute. Love you too. Bye. All right. I get this all cleaned up. Staying busy. All right. Oh, my neck. Seems with that, I'll have to kind of come back to this stuff. Oh. Which means for today, I'll probably go ahead and wrap up. So thanks everybody who joined us. Hope you guys continue to follow along with us as we build this Perfect Grade Unleashed RX93 new Gundam. Really excited for the way it's coming together. We got the LED kit. So, lots of stuff. So, find us next week, and we'll see you next time.